Chapter 10, Jon Bois, 20K20. Let's go for it. State of Florida, 1845. Etium Hiximus, maybe? You all can sit anywhere here at the counter you want, or feel free to take a booth. What do you think? You want a booth? I don't know. Let's do the counter. Let's be the counter crew. Okay. Got a new recruit, Gunner? Yep, we got Bryce here. He's going to be our new QB too. Well, congratulations to our newest Trojan. I knew it was a special occasion. You all haven't been down here in too long. Bryce, you ought to be honored. Oh, it's a big day, Linda. Big day for our new guy here. Well, I sure hope you enjoy. The menus are right there in the rack with the salt and pepper. You'll take your time and let me know when you're ready to order. Oh, and you'll want I can put the football on. Oh yeah, please, that'd be great. Tell you what, Bryce, I'm not going to lie to you. Part of the reason I've been looking forward to this is sitting at a counter and getting a hot plate of food. I could have put in my order a month ago, Linda. I could have stuffed it in an envelope and mailed it to you. 3 eggs, sunny side up, double order of hash browns and a side sausage. Tell you what, the only eggs I've had all this year are scrambled eggs that come out of all rubbery. It's hard cooking on a propane stove. Oh, you've got those little ones, right? Yeah, just one of them tiny little jobs. And it's a little steel mess kit. And if you don't wash it right after you eat, it's hell to get those eggs scraped off them. Half of me wants to quit and ask you for a job. At least I'd get a nice flat top to cook on. You're a football hero, Gunner. Who else is going to run the Troy defense? You're damn right. You're damn right. Hon, you still looking? You want to order something? My treat. Some burger. You got it. You got it. I remember this guy. Yeah? Yeah, Bryce. He'd wander into this game or that from time to time. Never stuck around. I remember he used to irritate me. He was a gifted eternal paradise, and not only did he not take advantage of it, it didn't even occur to him that he was delivered a miracle. I get that self-improvement is only so important now, but Jesus, you'd think that after a few thousand years he'd at least give it a try. Instead, he'd just lean on the side of his Acura hatchback in some parking lot, always wearing these cargo shorts and a giant white t-shirt, mumbling into his flip phone, always having some argument with a friend over some $20 weird deal. The only thing he'd ever talk about was how he was going to install an undercarriage lights in his hatchback. I checked in on him 200 years later, and he was still doing the exact same thing in more or less the exact same place. He never got those lights put in, even in a post-scarcity world. A world where you can just go to an ATM and there's $500 already waiting in the tray for you. You can go do this wherever you want. And he never did. He just stood around and talked about it. Then I got older, and I came to realize how perfectly fine that is. I can tell you every single thing about the Hades star cluster, anything and everything you want to know. Bryce probably thinks the sun is 100 miles from Earth. I couldn't tell you which of us is happier. You know, spend it however you want. You'll never run out. This guy is cool. This guy is me. It's why I love you. Took me a minute though. Oh, I know. I mean, I won't lie to you, son. I'll tell you the same thing I tell every recruit. Our field at Troy is not a fun field. Have a look at it here. If you could just take a look at it here. Field guide, Troy. Ooh, it's very bouncy. Lol, their field is dog shit. Just a matter of bad luck, really. There's this stretch of about 1 million yards where it runs into absolutely nothing. Like in Croydon, Indiana, there's a gumball machine, and that's like it though. In terms of amenities, we've got pretty rotten luck. You can see we're in Ponce all the way down south, and believe it or not, this is the only place you can get a hot meal in a restaurant between here and Indianapolis. Even going through Troy, the field manages to make a clean miss of every restaurant in town. Same with all the other little towns here. Then north of Indy is pretty slim pickings as well. I should let you know in Muskegon, there's an Arby's, but the field only runs along the front door and to the corner with the coordinates and whatnot. Used to be the used to be they were nice enough to come around the counter and bring you your order out to you, but they got tired of being hassled, so they put up a sign saying counter service only. Sometimes if you're extra hungry and extra tired of camp food, you can squeeze yourself out some horsey sauce. That's about it though. Between Indianapolis and Canada, that's it. No grocery stores, no department stores, nothing. Man, I'll just go to another field. Well, you see, and you know, not everybody is happy about this, but this is the way to do it at Troy. For the first 100 years, you'll play defense. And you know what that means. When you're on a 25-player defensive squad, you can't leave the field, it's against the rules. But this way, it's actually good, I think. By the time your 100 years are up, you transfer to the offensive unit. You'll know every single branch of every single tree on this field. Psh, yeah, kid, fuck this. Get the fuck out of there, this shit sucks. Well, you know, you'll probably be a superstar in this program once you do. The Troy football program, you know, we really value those who know our field inside and out. Other programs think they can safely hide a ball on our field. No, sir. No, sir, they can't. We'll sniff it right out. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still trying to get it up on the TV. The cable man gave us a new clicker, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it work with the old box. I guess if it's... Oh, bzzzt. Where there they are and how in the world Georgia Tech allowed this to happen. There you go, boys. There you boys go. Guess it's they have one of those talk shows on. Appreciate you, Linda. And this is what we know, Clark. On the night of October 12th, and that was just 1 week ago today, Georgia Tech, who had remained one of the top 5 teams in the nation for more than 400 years, did not just fall out of the top 5. They did not just fall out of the top 25. They fall all the way to the bottom, Clark. And you know what, Marty? I'm sitting next to you today with egg on my face. I believed in Georgia Tech. When it first happened, the line coming out of Bobby Dodd Stadium was, look, we're relocating our footballs. We've moved them off the sideline to somewhere more secure. And I believed them. And now we find that they're all, in fact, on the WKU field. Incontrovertibly points to the fact that this was a cover-up. They lied to their fans, they lied to America, they have no clue, just like the rest of us. Oh shit, they're on the WKU field now, huh? Yeah, I'll track them down, one sec. And what's shocking about this moment, what's most shocking of all, is that dynasties fall piece by piece, Clark. They don't collapse all at once like this. This doesn't happen. You are absolutely right, Marty. Something like this belongs in the ancient era of this game. We're talking 1700s or the 1800s, way early on in this game. Before the strategies and schools of thought were really clearly developed. Before superpowers learned how to be smart about how they carried their footballs and where they hide them. This was a failure of leadership. There is no reason that a team in the 20K20s should be keeping every football in one place, no matter how secure it is, no matter who's guarding it. And I think the only way forward is for Conor O'Malley to step down as the leader of the Georgia Tech football program. I couldn't agree more. And you know what? I will go further than that. I think they need to overhaul the entire program. If I'm the athletic director at Georgia Tech, I cut every player on my team. I pull people in from the street. I rebuild and spend the next 500 years training them up into a team that can win. Because you know what? The sun has set on this era. It's over. No one in Orlando wants to hear it, but it's over. And now, of course, the important questions for the rest of the country is who has those footballs, and where are they? Speaking of that, I believe Stacy has a forecast for us. Stacy? Yes. Clark and Marty, thank you. We were expecting to see one of the biggest logjams we've seen in college football in decades, and we are certainly seeing that right now. If we could get the scoreboard on screen, yes, thank you. If you look at the scoreboard, you can see the movement we saw in the rankings yesterday. Oh, yeah. Stop saying 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Instead, say 6 of each. The former is a foolish turn of phrase, and if used in my class, I would fail you. You can see here as WKU absolutely faults up the scoreboard from nearly the very bottom all the way up to sole possession of the number 3 ranking. Naturally, we can conclude here that however many footballs Georgia Tech lost, Most, if not all of them, were taken to the WKU field. And for those who are perhaps not as familiar with this region of the field, Georgia Tech's field intersects with WKU's right there in southeastern Tennessee. That's where they crossed. So that's where the teams are from all around the country are converging. And already, guys, this is unlike any scene we've witnessed in a long, long time. We have Alabama A&M with 100 players combing the area looking for these footballs. Duke has more than 30. Vanderbilt has sent 68. Georgia is just southeast of the intersection with nearly 40 players. Jeez. Tennessee is sending dozens. Wake Forest has 100 here now, combing the mountains. 100 from Virginia Tech are arriving. Guys, within this stretch of field, we have already nearly 800 players, and many, many more are on the way. I wouldn't be surprised to see half the players in college football on or near the Western Kentucky field in a few days' time. Stacy, what kind of search area are we looking at? Well, Clark, it's reasonable to believe that they're within a stretch of the field around 10 miles. Teams have been closing in on them from both sides, and it would be in such a number that it would be impossible to hide. Lol. Or they made a shortcut straight to the Michigan State and watched y'all's sorry asses walk right by them. Y'all are failing for a trick in the book that admittedly is brand new, but you fell for it hard. Lady, you found Nick and Manny yet? Got him. Fuck. They've been hauling dick. What's that? 75 miles in a day? Just about. Through the woods and hills and everything. Those two have been training for this for so many centuries. I've been waiting forever to see what they could actually do on the field. Goddamn. They're doing exactly what they planned too. I'd imagined they're about to cut left on the Oklahoma State field within the hour, then ride that west as far as they can. What do you think happens once they step foot on Oklahoma State? Well, I guess other teams can start making some good guesses. Then they'll know whoever took is headed west. But Nick and Manny faked the hell out of 1,000 players or so who had the best shot at making a tackle. They have a 75-mile head start, and they are two extremely fast dudes. The other teams are in groups of 25, 50, 100, made up of players of varying speeds. They ain't gonna catch them. There are still some teams out west that could intercept them. I still think it's unlikely they're going to pull off this whole thing. But to see them even get this far is incredible. Funniest part about it all is that Nick and Manny aren't even all that good at actual football. Now, of course, we still have no information that indicates which team has the ball. But you have to figure, guys, it's a matter of hours until the balls are recovered. The only question now is what exactly it's going to look like when upwards of 1,000 players fight for an armload of footballs in or around the Tennessee Valley. You see, son, this is the sort of opportunity we've got ahead of us if we probably execute Trojan football. Why does he keep calling him son? They're both 18,000 years old. Looks like Gunner's 18,040 years old and Bryce is 18,016 years old. You'd be surprised how much that still matters. So why ain't y'all up there then? Well, I'll be honest with you. We weren't positioned properly. We have our players real spread out right now, all over the country, and we couldn't make a play on the ball this time. But that's something we hope to change as we rebuild this program. And I think, if you put in the work in, and put it in for long enough, you could be a key component of that rebuilding process. You'll suck. You know what? That's a very fair thing to say of us right now. We suck. But you know what the exciting thing is that you get to help us write the next chapter of Troy football. A lot of players on these other teams, they don't get to say that. But you're going to have ownership in this process, son. It's like I tell everyone. If you buy in, it'll pay off. You tell them about the monster? Oh yeah, no. The Dewey Lake monster? We didn't get to that. Well, of course, I've never seen it. But I've just talked to a whole lot of Troy players who over the years have. At least they say they did. Dewey Lake monster lives in the tales of folklore, oftentimes woven around truth. Lots of eyewitness accounts all the way back to the 1960s. People say it's like Bigfoot or something. With only the light from a flashlight, the pair saw the figure standing at about 120 yards out in the field. and they say it was no bear. That's bullshit. Well, you say that, and I don't blame you for saying that, but I saw it with my own two eyes. It was big, huge, bigger than any person, but it walked around like a person. It wasn't a bear. I seen it twice. Both times, it clearly didn't mean no harm. What's funny to me is that you all have only seen the one, only the one, and never up close. But no, who knows? Maybe it was the last of its kind, and when everybody stopped dying, it was the only one left. Is this thing real? Yeah. No. Have you seen it? No. Well, do you have any proof? No. Well, then how are you so sure? Yep. Okay. But you know that then just that's just one of many legends on this field. All kinds of crazy things. You know, our stadium is actually just a block away from where our basketball team scored 258 points in a single game against DeVry, 258, 258 points in a regulation 40-minute basketball game. I thought it was 253. Oh, it's 258. Guarantee you it's 258. Anyways, you know, there's lots of storied history around our field. Stuff you'll never find anywhere else but Troy. God, I love that game. It's beautiful. There was so little reinvention in those days. I mean, that was the 1990s. Yep. You know what? You know that game made it to my residual memory? I was about 25 years old at the time. Of course, I wasn't awake yet, but I can still search my memory and it's there. For whatever reason, angry things had a much better chance of sticking. That made so many people mad. DeVry, which is a computer technology and business school, best known for advertisements on late night cable television, has no business playing basketball. Bush League. That's about all you can say about the whole affair. DeVry deserves better than that. Troy State deserves better than that. Basketball deserves better than that. Silly, sick joke. As exciting and heartwarming as watching an old, sickly dog be put to sleep. It smacks of a barnyard odor. It's tacky and childish. Oh, calm down, Jesus Christ. Pick a hobby instead, any hobby. Take up checkers. Get really good at the cup and ball game. Anything but this. The people weren't ready for a game as revolutionary as Troy State DeVry. It was essentially a cooperative game. DeVry did try to score. I mean, they scored 141 points themselves, but they agreed to run down the floor and shoot as fast as they could. They worked together with Troy State to push the pace and help them accomplish their stated goal of 200 points in a game. Since then, there have been all kinds of games like that in every sport, where both teams work together towards some common goal or another. That game was centuries ahead of its time. Back in those days, sports and rules were almost the same thing. God, I'm glad I wasn't awake then. Maybe that's why I'm so well adjusted. It's true, 258 to 141. Troy State crushes DeVry Institute in record-shattering performance. Now, there's one more thing I got to tell you about. How familiar are you with Lake Auburn? You been out there? You know what goes on out there? Huh? Lake Auburn, the southern Great Lakes. You familiar with the geography? I guess. Oh. Here's where you learn about the sharks. Yeah. See, in these lakes and the Mississippi Sea to the west, there's a lot of fields. It's legal to cross those fields in the water, provided you're not using motor power. You could use a rowboat or a kayak or a canoe or something, or if you really want to work out, I suppose you could swim. Teams used to use those fields a lot. Lots of important throughways there. Real important strategically. Then, about 500 years ago, sharks showed up. They'll come and get you anytime, day or night, but right around sunup or sundown seems to be their favorite. The water's real still, a lot more still than you'd figure lakes this big to be. Real quiet. You'll be canoeing along, and the only noise you hear will be your paddle when it dips in the water. Maybe some wind. It's real empty. Gives you a lot of time to think about the world and you and your place in it. Once in a while, you'll come across something peeking out of the water, something the water couldn't quite cover up. And almost like you almost kind of feel good for what's still standing. In a way, I don't know if it still works like this. I mean, hell, I'm no architect or, engineer or anything like that. But you look at it and and think, well, standing so high on all those years must have been hard work. They don't have to stand anymore. They get to float now, and they do their job, and now they don't have to work so hard. Anyway, point is, it's a nice little boat ride for a little while, and so you're floating along and making your way along. Nobody ever sees them coming. You never do. We don't know who the Sharks play for. Nobody does. Nobody's good enough luck. Got good luck enough look at them. We think there might be as many as 12 of them. Nobody really knows that either, but it's at least 4 or 5. What they do is they wait under the surface for a long time. I guess they got scuba gear or something. Out of nowhere, you'll see a bunch of hands reach up and grab each side of the boat. They flip you with so much force, there's nothing you can do. You're just in the water. If you're dumb enough to try to sail a football across the sea, they'll take it, even if you're just trying to pass through in peace. Though they'll come after you anyway, just to scare the hell out of you. It doesn't even matter that your life's in danger, because every second you spend in that water, you're just waiting on it to happen. People don't go on those seas much anymore, for any reason. They're scared off, all because of them, and nobody even knows who the hell they are. Fuck that, I fucking hate boats. Well, listen, son. There's a reason I told you all this, and it's a thing that, it comes along with playing Trojan football. In order to get to any other field, you have to cross the water. No way around it. We have to do it all the time, and it's not like you get flipped all the time. I'd say I get flipped in the water every 5th time or so I'm out there. I'd say you get used to it, but to tell you the truth, I really don't. I'd say you get used to it. Troy is the only field that's like that. Every other team around here can take a detour around the lake. Not us. It's a cross we have to bear. But you know what? I think it only makes us stronger. We've got to go through a lot on this field, but that's gonna only make us tougher and more resilient as we continue to rebuild the program. There's a lot of, hey, where's the bathroom? Oh, it's right around the corner there. Just down there and make a left. Okay. Han, it's not over there. That's the front door. Where are you going? You're gonna step off the field. He's gonna step off the field. Son, you've got 10 more seconds to make it back before you're kicked out of the game. Son, where are you going? Well, hell. I'm sorry, Gunnar. Happens more and more now. You'll get this program going. I know you will. I hope so. Woo. Hold on. I gotta make a phone call. This is always the hardest part of being a commissioner. Ooh, official business. Can't wait. Ahem. Ring, 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 ring. Huh? Hello, is this Bryce Schaffer I'm speaking to? Yeah. Number 17 for the Trojans? I don't know, man. Mr. Schaffer, this is the ball game commissioner. I'm unfortunately calling to inform you that you have been ejected from the game due to an out-of-bounds violation. As you had no out-of-bounds accrued at the time of the incident, you are required to surrender your roster spot and leave the game. I don't give a shit. Now, as a commissioner, I must inform you that you are permanently prohibited from rejoining any team or participating in any... Fuck you, bitch. Click. Man, I mean, good for him for walking off the job. Fuck jobs. From a certain perspective, these lakes make a lot of sense. An immortal person is not a perfect person. An eternal life is not a perfect life. I'm living forever, right? All 3 of us are. We've scanned our trajectories for the next 500 billion years, and yep, smooth sailing. Same for everybody down there. Yep. For those who lost their homes to the encroaching water, it was a traumatic experience, but they all made it. I wonder if they'll ever see it like I do. I look at myself and I see the imperfections. Half the time I don't know what's going on. Apparently if I'm going to wake up for a few weeks at a time, cruise for a couple of millennium, and then do it again. My batteries suck. My data storage is core rope memory, wires that were literally sewn into the boards in patterns of 1s and 0s. These imperfections will persist until the end of time, and there's nothing I can do about that. My life will never be a perfect one. Those lakes and the ruins that stick out of them remind me that it's not supposed to be. This is not heaven. waters rise and batteries fail. This is a universe in which things can still fuck up, and that's where I belong. I belong here, and I can't tell you how good that feels. You know? You could argue that this, functionally speaking, is a heaven of sorts. Perfection is the end of the road. Why the hell would you want to be at the end of the road? I wouldn't. I like it here. So tell me about the sharks. Oh man. Absolutely menace. Struck terror into every team in the nation for centuries. Horrifying ability to strike without warning. Stolen so many footballs that teams advance all the way up to Missouri just to avoid the region. Single-handedly influences the geographic footprint of college football. Inspiration for countless ghost stories. Fucking amazing. Basically, who do they play for? I mean, shit. You want to talk about the Sharks? I can arrange a call. God, yes. I love that. I have to learn more about these people. Ha. People.